Notes and begin the. Hey, Iman, we're going live right now. Who do you want to do a shout out to?
I want to do a shout out to all my fellow queerdos and weirdos and people who have been made to feel that they don't know who they are, but they're the only ones who really do know who they are.
I love that. Queerdos, weirdos, and people who don't know who you are. Here we go. Guys, I'm telling you, every time I do the show, I am honored to have awesome guests. Today we have Iman Gatti. Iman Gatti is the author of the best-selling memoir Cracked Open, Never Broken, along with three children's books, and is a certified consultant, transformational speaker, master trainer for the Edmonton Mental Health Awareness Committee, and a certified grief recovery specialist. So, Iman, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. What a pleasure.
You are amazing, and the things that we are talking about today is it's one of the things I want people to be able to do, and that is to be able to be themselves. And we named the show Disobedient AF because we want people to be Uh, I think when we were talking before, we used the word disobedient or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's kind of like it's actually not you're not being disobedient. It's the way the world makes you feel. Everyone says be yourself, but then they go not like that. Oh no, you can't do that. Don't wear that. No, no, no. Be yourself, like this socially acceptable self. And so I like to think that we got to be more disobedient, which really is not confrontational at all. It's very civil because it's just you tapping into yourself and believing in yourself.
Yeah, I always think it's disobedient is not maybe even the right word, but we're going to keep using it because I love the way it rolls. Um, it's like you wanting to be yourself, but you get caught up in society, right? And
That's right.
so, yeah. So
You
how do
how
you
can you
be
be
yourself?
well, the funny thing is how can you be anybody else? Right? So
Um,
you're the only one that knows you, right? So what we need to do, the reason that people don't feel connected a lot of the times is because we're raised by other people. So whatever culture, whatever family group, wherever you are in the world, whatever privileges or disadvantages you have will dictate how you think, feel, communicate, right?
mhm.
And we're told all the time, we're given messages since we're babies that you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, and that's just subjective. So that's your family or the people who are your guardians are influencing you. And so personally, I lived in foster care as a child, and I got to see so many different family dynamics that I started to go, okay, well, there has to be more than one way to be, right? So I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, maybe we're all individual and unique, and we got to tap into that and stop listening to everyone else telling us who we are.
How did you get into the mindset of saying, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do and not what everyone else is doing?
Misery. I think it was just
No.
so miserable. I was orphaned at 6 years old, and then I lived in foster care until I was aged out of that. And it's you get so miserable trying to bend and pretzel yourself the way everyone tells you you're supposed to. And I just got tired. I thought, no matter which way I turn and contort, I am not happy. And so I
Mm.
thought, I gotta stop listening to everybody for a minute. I need to hear myself. And it's the age old universal wisdom of, listen to your heart and follow yourself. And I started to do that. I just said, okay. And it started to feel disobedient. I started to get a lot of flack and people pushing against me. And I thought, this is odd. I'm not happy, but they seem to be happy with that level of misery in me. And I don't want that.
Right. So, in our society, actually, probably in the world, right, there are people who want to do what they want to do, but they're afraid.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with the most people that do that are the ones who go to work every day and hate their jobs.
Oh, I was that person. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, how does someone get out of that? Because there's the whole thing of, I gotta feed my family. I need to go play,
Totally.
do this. I have to buy this car, live in this neighborhood. How do you get out of that and do what you really want to do?
Well, I think it's spending time alone. So you got to spend some time where there's quiet, where you're really honest with yourself about what it is you want. A lot of people, there's so many people that tell you, I know they told me, coaches and things, they would say, like, okay, you just got to quit and jump in. And I'm like, that does not feel safe. And I wouldn't like lose my home and my family. Like, we'd all suffer. So, be smart about what's right for you. There's just no one way that fits. And I think that's, I'm always telling people, like, take what, if you like something that I say and it resonates with you, take it. But remember, you're your own person. So if you don't like something, don't take it with you. There's no such thing as a one size fits all. And so keep your job, your 9 to 5. That's what I was doing. And then I started having my free time in the evenings and my lunch hours, and I would work on my business.
Well, so people come to me sometimes and they say, Michael, I hate my job. I just, I can't stand it. I don't want to go tomorrow morning. I don't want to do this. And I'm absolutely the wrong person to come to for that
You're like,
because
quit. Stop
I,
it.
I will do that. I will because I did that, right? I think
Yeah.
I've messed up twice in my life and had jobs. And so for me, it was like, just, I don't mind living in the car. I don't mind doing this, but other people can't do that.
But that's the thing. And so I'm like, I'm a risk taker too, in that way, in that I'll do what it takes. So that's kind of the answer when I think, what will you do for what you want? And I go, whatever it takes, because I'm really stubborn and I like what I like. And so, but for people like that, so first of all, being afraid is normal. I don't know why people tell you, kill the fear and everything. I'm like, are you kidding me? If that was true, I would be at home, like in my house. I'd never leave my house. I'm afraid. And also, you can do the thing that's scary while you're afraid. You can be
Oh, that's
brave
good.
while you're afraid. I tell my little 4.5-year-old daughter that all the time. I say, baby, courage is contagious. Okay. Courage doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you're scared and you're taking the risk and you're doing it.
Oh man, you told me something about a story about your. You may have made it up, but it seemed so real to me about your daughter. If she had an ice cream cone, she dropped it.
Yes. So we're talking about grief recovery, and a lot of times people, I mean, grief is universal. We experience grief from infancy, and there's over 44 different kinds of grief. So you're constantly experiencing grief, but what's weird is that we don't teach people how to deal with it and how to recover from it. So with my ice cream cone example, which is absolutely true, I tell my daughter, we drop the ice cream and she goes, "Oh my gosh," right? Like, this is so devastating for a 4-year-old. That is very, very heartbreaking. And you're very excited about that. And so I let her have her feelings instead of what most of us want to do is we want people to skip the discomfort and go right to the it's okay.
Correct.
What I do is go, it's not okay. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. You're sad. I would be sad too. That is just awful and very unfair. And she goes, I know it's unfair. It was a really good ice cream. I say, well, here's the thing. We better say goodbye to this ice cream and clean up the mess or what have you. Should we get another ice cream and just say goodbye to this one and we'll just hope for the best next time? And she goes, yeah, okay. And I give her space to have a cry. You're okay. I'll hold you when you cry.
Mhm.
And whatever feeling, I tell her all the time, whatever feeling you're experiencing is the right one because you're really smart. Your body knows exactly how to process everything.
I love that. What we need now is more people in the world like you that will actually take the time to do that with everyone else.
And that's the thing. And I don't want anyone, I'm a very human person. Okay. So we don't always have every moment of kumbaya, right? So sometimes I'm like, if she drop her ice or she drops something on the way to school or something, it's like, can we mourn this in 3 seconds? Is that going to be okay? So, but the point is, you take the time and then you can come back to it later. If you're still mad about it tomorrow, let's talk about that. There's
Yeah.
healthy and safe ways to express every emotion.
So I want to talk about the emotion of fear
Hmm.
because I think that emotion itself is something that everyone knows about. And I think it might be one of the things that stops them from being disobedient and actually doing what they want to do. How do you overcome that fear and get to your true self, I guess?
I feel like you need to look at the consequence of what would happen if you don't do it and what would happen if you do. When we look at things with finality, when I think to myself, whew, this time is going really fast. If you have a child or you've lost someone, you realize that time, you're going to get your number picked soon. You don't know when that is, right? So I always wake up and go, we're still here. Okay, we're good. It's like Iman 4.1, right? Like, I'm 41, so this is what we're doing, and this is the year to do all those things you want to do as a 41-year-old. And I'm scared. I'm afraid all the time. I have anxiety. I have, CPTSD. I have ADHD.
Yeah.
Those are not feelings that I can live apparently without. So,
Yeah. No, you need those. They help you become you.
but that's right. And so I think to myself, okay, I'm scared, but what am I scared of? Be honest. And that's the thing about grief recovery is a real nice um, container to look at what are those real feelings you're having. Sometimes when you have support and you verbalize those things, you can kind of hear yourself and go, well, I don't really think that's going to happen. You know, like some negative consequence will come of that. Like, for example, if people are wanting to, come out as queer, that might be it is very frightening, right? So you're like, oh, I don't want to lose my family. And I think to myself personally, and this is everyone has to think of themselves, if you're my family and you love me and you want me in your life, then me being more myself and honest with you is just going to make me more beautiful. And if you can't see that beauty in me, I'm sorry, but you're not helpful to me. And I say that as myself, as someone who lived in several different family structures.
Right.
I'm not saying cut everyone off and do all that, because support and community are very important. So a lot of times people are just like cutthroat. They're like, just forget anyone. No, you got to have healthy boundaries and say, okay, well, maybe we don't talk about it together because you don't agree with me and you hurt my feelings and you're harmful to me. So you can still have those people in your life that don't agree with you. I always say, you don't have to understand me. That's not your job. That's
Right.
not your job. Your job, if you want to be in my life, is simply to be respectful. The way you would to the gas station attendant or the woman or man who works at the grocery store. Just if you could just be respectful to me and admit that I'm a human being, that'd be great.
Do you still talk to those people and hang out with them, go to dinner? What do you do?
Well, I personally, there's lots of people that I choose not to speak to because they're harmful to my health.
Okay.
Right? So when you really commit to putting yourself first, you're going to have to ask yourself all these questions. Because, Les Brown says when you go to the graveyard, that's the most rich place in the whole world, because that's where everyone's ideas and dreams go to die. They just
Yep.
go there, they take them with them. And it's like, well, what good was that? What good was that for the world? And it's, to write my memoir was one of the most frightening experiences of my life, because I thought, oh my gosh, what if everyone judges me and they hate me?
And did it turn out that way, or was it just the fear?
Some people did.
Did they really?
There's some people they don't want to speak to me because they didn't appreciate the way I want to live my life. And that's just going to happen. And I think to myself, geez, if you're not upsetting anyone, are you really being yourself?
Yeah. Just on a philosophical question, because this popped into my head. If we, as humans, lived longer, let's say we lived 500 years instead of
Yeah.
80 or 90 years, would we think any different? You think about who we care if we go like, I don't care about that person, or would we care more if we see them for another 400 years? What do you think?
I'm not sure. I feel like I would be the kind of person that would live the same. I'd be like, this is what I'm doing. I want to have all the fun. I want to do all the things. I want to dream all the dreams and I want to try, because some of us have learned that life is more challenging than others. And I got to put my elbows out and take up space. It's like when you watch a bunch of puppies going to eat at their, mom's nipples. Like some of those little puppies got to like really push their way in because everybody's really hungry. And I feel like I'm the runt. I have to say what I need. I have to be what seems forceful, because when you're overcoming and recovering from trauma and abuse, you realize that not enough people are doing right by you. And so
Hmm.
I got to be my own best friend. I have to be on TV Man all day long, because there's not a lot of people that are out there in my life that have been advocating for me. Now I'm surrounded by a lot of love and a lot of greatness. But growing up, I realized if you don't speak up, you don't get. If you don't push, you don't move. So I learned it that way. So I'm a bit scrappier than, someone who maybe grew up with a bunch of privileges and people who are always advocating for them. That's a different personality than mine.
Yeah. The thing that I think I find is that people in general want to get along with other people.
Of course.
And so they, in general, follow the crowd. And that person who doesn't follow the crowd and jumps out and it's different, now they're either ostracized, or if they're actually good at it, people might start following them. I
Yeah.
don't know which one is more powerful or good or right.
Well,
What do you
I think
think?
there's just no wrong way to be yourself. And this is a lesson that I wish more people understood. It's like how many trees and flowers, how many different animals are out there. There's just no wrong way to be that flower. You're a flower, you're a human, but it's your version. There's billions of us here. Surely you were here, you were picked, you got a ticket to the show. because you have something to contribute and something to receive. And so that's to me what I think. I cannot be wrong about me. Like,
That is absolutely beautiful. You know, the whole if you want to, you need to find your crowd, I guess, right?
right.
You
Well, they'll
find those
find
people
you.
that respect you.
That's right. So that's where boundaries come in. So if you have a little checklist in your mind, and at first, when I work with clients, we go through this. What do you want? What are you hoping for? What would it look like if you woke up on your best day in the whole wide world? Then we can find the boundaries that feel safe, because boundaries are beautiful and they get such a bad rep because people are thinking that they're hard and cold, and they're like, blocking everyone out of your life. And it's like, if I'm telling you my boundaries, it's because I adore you and I want you to know how to treat me, because I know how I want to be treated. And
I,
so, right? It's
yeah.
like, I just want you to respect me. So there are things that I have injuries about, as we all do, that I need you to be aware of if you really want to love me and connect with me.
Yes, there are people listening right now, I guarantee, who are going like, preach, tell me, how do I get out of here?
Yeah.
And the question is, how do they get out? Like, do they come talk to you? Do they talk to their
Yeah.
friends? What do they do to
You
get
know what?
out?
Yeah. I mean, friends, I would say, are not the people, because your friends want to make you happy. Okay. Your friends want to appease you. So they're going to go, yeah, that's right. They shouldn't have done that to you. Or, oh, you're right, all the time. If I talk to my girlfriends or my boyfriends, like, they're always cheering for me. Those are my people. They're not going to say, sometimes you'll get, like, I have some friends that I can go to that I know they'll say, you're being a little bit this way about that. And I respect those people, but at the beginning, you're not able to identify those people just yet.
So how do you
So,
know which ones to listen to? Because if we all grew up in a family slash society and you want to be different, who do you go talk to? How do you get out and go find your people?
well, that's why I believe in therapy and I believe in coaching. That's why I love working with my clients. I work with people one on one. I offer groups, courses. I give lectures and keynotes and speeches. And the thing is, before you start listening to anybody, find someone who wants to listen to you. So when I meet a client, it's all about you. I just want to hear everything about you, and I'm going to decipher. I have a really good spidey sense. I'm going to decipher when you're not telling the truth to yourself, and I'll ask you about that. I go, is that really true? And how do you know that's true? And tell me more about that. And people go, no, I think I just said that to please you, because that is what most people, especially if you've suffered trauma and abuse, are trying to do. They're trying to be pleasing so that they don't injure themselves.
Right, right.
Right. So you need someone that's listening to you and going, Michael, are you sure about that? Because
Okay.
yesterday you said this, and I don't know if that's true. Which one's true, baby? And then they go, yeah, I'm saying that. Yeah, you're right. The real truth is. And so you'll get to that. And then they go, okay, if this is what you want, here's an idea of how to get there. What resonates with you? It's very collaborative. And a lot of people are not used to that kind of intense care
Right.
and that
They're not.
respect and autonomy. So it's a learning.
Yeah, I forget which movie I was just watching the other day where it's like the truth. They said, "I've got this problem." It's like, oh, you've got the problem. Great, I'll see you in 10 minutes. You know, get back to work. Or
Oh yeah, they dismiss you.
yes, and I
Right.
think there's the dismiss that happens. I think a lot, especially in corporate or military or something like that.
Sure.
And then there's what you do, and that is actually listening and getting them to get to their own truth, right?
I think one of the most beautiful things you can do is to see somebody for real, like really see them. And I hear this all the time from my clients. They say, I feel like you just zone in right into my soul and you really are able to pull out the truth from me, and because I'm respecting you. I'm safe. I promise I won't injure you because I know how to where my boundaries are. I know how to keep you safe. I'm not a therapist. That's different. So I
Mhm.
know what my capabilities are and what my talents are. I'm very sure of myself in a lot of ways. And so I'm my biggest wish is to keep you safe and listen and adore you and have you realize how special you are. And just the way that, a little kid, when you see a little toddler or kid, they know how to dance, they know how to paint, they know how to draw, they know how to sing. They're amazing. They're so creative. What happens is people go, oh, you're not very good at that. Don't.
It gets beat out of them, and I've seen it so many times.
Hmm.
It gets beat out of kids really quick, and it gets beat out of adults who try and do something.
Yeah.
and the teacher comes up and says, "Yeah, that's not really good. Let's go back and do it the way that's in the book."
Right. Let me, yeah, we're not worried about you as an individual. I'm going to show you how to do it my way. Or because we live in this very capitalistic society, people say, "Oh, you can't make any money on that. You're not going to make money." So like
Right.
we teach people that art doesn't make money. Meanwhile, at the beginning of the pandemic, that's all people wanted to do was listen to music, was to do art, was to make bread, was to do right. It's like, when we need art, and there are lots of famous, very well off artists. So I'm not sure why you say that.
I don't know.
People
Yeah,
need
I'm pretty sure if people looked at Picasso and they looked at Guernica, the big war piece that he did,
art.
they would have gone like, "Did a 5-year-old draw that?" And go, "No, no,
Mhm.
Picasso drew it. Several $1 million now." But
Yeah,
why would anyone stop their Picasso, their child, their
that's right.
person, right, from
You're
doing that?
allowed to be here. And I had to tell myself this. I don't know, that's just divine information I have in my body. But when I was growing up in foster care, I often had to say to myself, this is this world is as much mine as anybody else's. I got a ticket to the Willy Wonka's factory and I am going. Like, you might not like the way I look, think, act, whatever. This is my opportunity. You don't get to bully me out of being a human being. And you don't get to say that. And it's always these insecure voices, because I have never met someone who is full of love and passion and desire and success tell me I can't. Those are the people that you want to root, that are rooting for you.
Yeah,
They're because they know how insecure, how much fear you have to walk through and how much discomfort. So I want everyone to understand that discomfort is natural. You sit with that. You're not going to explode in discomfort. You're not going to explode in grief. Let grief come and carry you to the next phase of you. That's why it's called grief recovery. It's not get over it. It's called get up, get up. Come on, baby. We're going. We're still going. You're still here.
I have friends that I'm going to send to you. I have a
Good.
couple friends that are artists, and they look at their art and they go, "Oh my God, this is horrible. It's not as good as this person or this person." I'm like,
Whose
I'm
voice is
looking at
that?
your art and I want to buy a piece. Okay, it doesn't
Aw.
matter because
Mhm.
it's you, and it tells your story. And when I look at it, I actually see them in their art, right?
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And that's the thing. I used to be so afraid when I was growing up. I've always been a writer. I loved writing my whole life. And my guardians they were very abusive, and they would make fun of my poetry, and they would be like, "I'm stupid, you think you're better than everybody," and they were just so weird and emotionally stunted and injured. And so I used to think, "Oh my god, I'm never showing anything that I do ever again, because I don't want anyone to take it away from me, because I like it." And so I'm really cognizant of that with my child. I say, when she shows me something, I go, "Oh wow, how do you feel about that?" And she goes, "Blah blah blah blah," and I go, "That is so beautiful, darling." I go, "You know what? I try to point something out that I enjoy. I'll say, I love the way the green and the purple go together. I think that's a really nice combination. I never saw that color go together so well."
Yeah,
Instead of the generic, "That's really great, darling. That's great. Great job." It's like, "Ooh, isn't that a nice shade of purple?"
absolutely. I love to look at someone's art and like just look at it, and it doesn't matter. If, oh, you drew the cat wrong. You drew this wrong, that wrong, and I'll often look at clouds because I do that in their paintings and say, "Oh my gosh, I see that you put in a house that you used to grow up here." And she's like, "Michael, I didn't see that." And I'm like, "It's there.
Yeah,
It's right there. I see it." And they're
so
like,
beautiful.
"Okay." So,
I just think you got to we need more people that lift people. If
yes,
there's always, it's like traffic. There's always cars ahead of you. There's always cars behind you. Okay. You're not worried about where they're going. It's none of your business. You're going somewhere. And when we're driving, we see roadblocks, we see construction, there might be an accident. And what do? We don't go back home. You go
no,
another route, you go another way, right? So to me, it's like, what do you want? First of all, get someone who you trust, that you feel safe with, to explore yourself. You deserve that. You deserve the respect of having someone sit with you and believe you. Let me tell you, when I tell you grief recovery is transformational, people constantly that, "Man, I didn't know I was going to do that. I've changed my whole life because of this." I go, "I know, because you had respect, you had time, you had connection, and
yeah.
all human need is to be seen and accepted."
I wish more people would understand that and
Yeah.
stop beating everyone up, you know?
Yeah.
Same with musicians. I've got musicians that will come to. I used to run an open mic, and musicians would come. They may have been playing for just a few weeks, but they want to play their song, and I will never tell them that was horrible. I'm
Ah,
like, dude, I'm so proud of you for just getting up on stage.
yes.
Let it go, and I want to see you again next week because that was awesome.
Yeah. It might not be your cup of tea. I tell my kid all the time, and she now says it, which I think is hilarious. She goes, Mom, we don't yuck someone's yum. I said, that's right. You don't yuck someone's yum. I might like blueberries and you might not like blueberries. It's none of your business what I like. And you just focus on what you like. But
Hmm.
there's enough for everybody. It's not a pie, it's not gonna run out. We're not gonna run out of happiness. You don't have to hog it.
Yes, I agree with that. I want people to come find you and be around you and know you.
Oh, I
So
appreciate you so much.
I'm going
Thank
to
you.
show them like how to get in touch with you. Uh,
Great. Thank you.
here we go,
Yeah,
imangatti.com.
just if you think you're gonna resonate with me, we go to my website, book a little intro call. We'll hang out for a few minutes, see if we're on the same path together. If I can be of service to you, that would be a privilege.
Absolutely. You're also over on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes.
And you've got the tell the story of your
Oh,
Ms. Mesmerized.
yeah, I know. I don't know if you're evil, even if I can go change it now. But mizmar is an instrument and Middle Eastern music. And I used to be a professional belly dancer, and I'm Arab, and so Middle Eastern music is like, if you want to speak to my soul, that's the music for me. So the mizmar is my favorite instrument, and so I made a joke for myself that I thought was very clever when I was 22, and now there it is everywhere I go. So
Well, it's there, and I think it's awesome.
thank
And
you.
by the way, had you told me earlier that you were a belly dancer, there is a whole segment of this interview that would have been you belly dancing.
Oh
And
my goodness. No, there
yes.
wouldn't have been, Michael. There would have
we'll we'll
been.
talk about that for the next episode.
Yeah, right? That's a whole other show.
Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you for being here. We definitely have to keep chatting. I love this.
Yeah, thank you
All right.
so much. Thank you. Hope everyone has an amazing weekend.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Take care.